Hello, peace. Cool. So I have promised a few people that I would do a little video on, or I would give some information across about affirmations and language and how I use that to make me power forward. See what I did there? Anyway, so I've been doing a lot of writing about depression because of what I've lived through in the past, and I have decided to share with you what I have been reading and what I've found, and I've decided to go out there and dig a little bit deeper to find out how affirmations actually work and more about depression. So I went to the obvious place to look and read about depression, which is the NHS, the National Health Service in the UK. And I typed it in, and it basically says depression is more than just feeling down or fed up. It doesn't tell you what depression is, it just tells you that it's more than that. It doesn't, it's really vague. It does have some good content. It does give you like triggers, it does give you prevention and ideas for medication and who to go and see. But it doesn't really tell you what depression is. So I decided to dig a little bit deeper and try and find some like a credible source that I could read and that would explain about depression. So I kept on looking, and I found a report done by Harvard Medical School. I'll put the link to it below so you can have a read. And this report, it's really easy to read. It's fantastic, and it describes that we all have a brain, and we have these neurotransmitters. They're like little branches that talk to each other, so they send electrical signals from one to the other. It's basically like a chemical signal that goes through your brain. It tells you how to feel, it tells you how to act. So some of those neurotransmitters, I'm not going to go through them all, but I'm going to go through three that are quite common that we all know. So one of them is serotonin. Serotonin is the transmitter, or the chemical that makes you want food. It makes you feel good about going and eating food. So like this bananas over there, I look at the bananas, my brain tells me bananas are good, go and get one and eat it, and it gives me that I want to eat the banana. Then we've got dopamine. Dopamine is the get up and go chemical, the get up and go transmitter. It makes you want to get out of bed, it makes you want to go for a run, it makes you like, oh, I'm psyched, I want to go and get that banana over there. That's what dopamine is. And then we've got another one, we've got more, but the other one I'm going to tell you about is norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is the thing that when you're driving or you're just to work and somebody swerves in front of you and you get to work and you hate your job and you like that's norepinephrine. Adrenaline, fight or flight, it really makes you anxious. It makes you feel really tight and like that. So it goes on to say that if you're lacking in one, so like if you're lacking dopamine, you'll find it hard to get out of bed on a winter's morning, or on a morning you'll be like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed, or you don't have that get up and go. So a little example for you, if somebody's lacking in dopamine, they'll probably go and eat to get the serotonin going. So you can imagine if somebody's feeling depressed or down, they might eat more. This is not everybody, this is just a quick example. So they might eat more to get the serotonin levels going, and then they will feel better through eating. But then obviously they eat and then they dip quite quick, so they need more food to keep pulling themselves back up again. So I was like, right, okay, so what's the best way for us to stop these imbalances then? Because it turns out that some people are everybody gets down at some point, but some people just have this imbalance. They're depressed, they're clinically depressed. It's something that they live with. So I dug a little bit deeper, and I was like, obviously medication's an answer. So I was like, I'm going to dig a bit deeper and find out how they know that medication's a good idea to take if you're depressed. And I came across this really, really weird report done by the National Institute of Mental Health. I think it's out in the US. I'll put the link below again. And basically, they took a group of people. It was a report on suicidal people. So it's more than depression. But my point is, they took a group of normal people, a group of people who sometimes feel down, a group of depressed people, and a group of suicidal people, and they basically put them in a clinic and put receptors over them and gave them everyday task to do and see how they would react to it and what the readings gave them back. And then they went a step further and put ketamine, a drip of ketamine into their spine and fed them ketamine, controlled doses of ketamine. It just, the thought of it is absolutely terrifying. I was like, this is horrible. Why am I reading this? And I stopped reading it and I went back to the Harvard thing because I was like, this was more positive. I can get my head around this. Anyway, the Harvard study, or the report, it showed that actually, if you take medication when you're depressed, what it does is it trains your brain to get stronger, to rebuild those connections that it's missing. So if you were, like the example we used before, if you were lacking in dopamine and you started eating loads to get the serotonin up, the medication gives you the dopamine, but it doesn't just give it you. It's not just a replacement. It actually it helps to train your brain to build those neurotransmitters back up again. So it's not just a stopgap until you come off the medication and get depressed again. It actually trains your brain to build those receptors back up again. So that kind of made me feel all right about the National Institute of Mental Health doing the ketamine thing into people's backs. Still a bit weird, but it kind of made me feel a bit better about it. So, like, medication can help, and my experience of that is it does help. It can help. But the thing I wanted to share with you today, and the thing that I'm writing about at the moment, is that using the medication, or if you're not on medication, if you just want to sort of not have the down days, if you don't have that depression, but you just want to eradicate the down days, what you can do is use language, use affirmations. And the way that I use the affirmations is, I'm going to give you a quick example. So I have got 3 words that I use. So I say I'm compassionate, I'm successful, and I'm strong. And those words, they're like, they're in me. And those words remind me of a story of my grandma. My grandma went out to South Africa during the apartheid. It was a civil war going on. She's a white British female, and she went out and lived in a black township where people were killing each other and disease is rife, and she went out there to offer aid. If she'd have got caught by the white government, she'd probably been killed. So I'd like think of my grandma and think, whoa, and I followed in her footsteps and I went out there. So when I think of that whole experience and I say to myself, I'm compassionate, I'm successful, and I'm strong, I remember all that. And it gives me a lift. It gets those receptors going. You can do it the opposite way. So if I say 2 words to you, if I say Donald Trump, you're going to do one of 3 things. You're either going to go, ugh, stop talking to me, or you're going to go, yay, or you're going to go, I hate him, like that. So, do you know what I mean? Those 2 words make you feel something. So what I've done is I've created 3 words. It can be 1 word, or 2 words, or 3 words, or 5 words. It doesn't matter. It can be a sentence or a paragraph or a poem. It doesn't really matter. But when I say those 3 words, I completely believe in them, and it lifts me, which helps me to get those receptors going. So if I'm feeling like I can't get out of bed on a morning, which it's been like for a while now because it's been dark out and cold outside and it's been horrible, then I visualize those words, and all of a sudden my get up and go, it comes back, and I'm ready to go and tackle my day and get on with it. So what we've learned from this, or what I've learned from this, is that actually using medication for depression is good. So it helps to retrain your brain. But also what we can do is we can help our own brain, and we can train it too by making the language in our mind, our thoughts, actually positive and motivational. So you can help yourself. You can beat the depression or the down days. If you've got that imbalance though, the doctor's a good place to go, because like the NHS says, depression is more than just feeling fed up or a little bit down. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. I hope this has been informative, and It was for me anyway. Peace.